KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning. It is Thursday. It's September 7th. I'm just hoping he can keep us as fired up about the weather forecast, at least the future part, as Mike did this morning. We were all excited this morning.
Yeah, we both were, and we know that it's not too bad outside right now.
Right.
Not yet.
And next week's starting to come into focus, guys. So we're getting a little better idea of what we think is going to play out. We do know that there is a front headed our way. We do think rain chances will start to come up a little bit. And yes, it will get cooler. There's still some timing questions, but all positive news, and that's what we want to hear. First, though, we got to talk about the negative stuff, and that it's going to be hot again today. 103 here in San Antonio, but really hot stuff up across parts of North Texas, 107 in Wichita Falls, 106 in Dallas. With these kind of numbers, we know what happened last night with ERCOT. And by the way, it looks like maybe a major power plant went offline last night, which is one of the problems and why ERCOT had to put out that emergency plea. We'll see where we stand today with the ERCOT situation, but it is going to be another day in which the Texas power grid is taxed. Feels like it's been that way all summer, but here we go again. And tomorrow, by the way, will be even hotter in many spots. Here's a look at the rain chances. So this is the positive news. By the time we get into the weekend, we start to add in some small chances, but I think they build by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday. That's when that front starts to move a little bit closer, and we should see some showers and storms. And yes, it could possibly be higher. We could see those numbers go a little bit higher. We've also got some football games tonight, which is exciting. Just know if you're going to be at the games, drink plenty of water. 98 at kickoff, but it's going to feel probably 100 plus. By halftime, still 91. That sunset is around 7:49. A much closer look at next week's forecast coming up, but we toss it over to a very busy Steven with the latest on your traffic.
Well, things are actually quiet, Justin, at 90 at 1604. This is one of our busier spots that we have every morning. But earlier, there was actually a crash that was reported along the southbound lanes of 1604. And our friends at TransGuide have moved that camera around, and we do have a better shot of traffic out there. So better news to report, and it also looks nice and pretty outside. But as we see traffic moving through the area, we still have problem spots. 281 southbound at Evans Road, we do have a new crash reported. I'm not seeing anything on the TransGuide cameras just yet, but it is being reported by KSAT, so just be on the lookout there if your travels take you up to the north side of San Antonio. As we take a drive back here, as I mentioned earlier, we had a very busy morning, 1604 southbound at US 90, but that's cleared out. And you can see now traffic's pretty much moving through the area without any trouble, but wide view of the map, we still have a little bit of that congestion that is lingering around. And you can see it, of course, along 35 southbound if you are heading in from Live Oak, and that's likely because of the NEX project that is taking up a few of the lanes there. Be on the lookout. Other than that, the roads are quiet aside from that crash we have along 281 at southbound at Evans. I'll continue to track things closely, but looks like you may want to bring your sunglasses if you plan on hitting the roads in the next few minutes. Guys.
Thanks, Stephen.
Now take a look at today's 9 at 9. The historic impeachment trial of suspended Attorney General Ken Paxton continues this morning in Austin. Yesterday, an extramarital affair with the employee of a donor was at the center of the testimony. One of Paxton's former assistant attorney generals, Jeff Mateer, testified. He was just one of several people that reported Paxton to the FBI. Paxton's attorneys accused Mateer of trying to stage a coup in the AG's office.
Governor Abbott says Texas will appeal a federal judge's order for the state to move the floating barriers in the Rio Grande. The judge also barred the state from putting more buoys in the river. Abbott has argued that the buoys are meant to deter migrants from crossing into the state from Mexico, but the Justice Department alleged that Texas violated the Rivers and Harbors Appropriation Act by building a structure in U.S. water without the permission of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
The urgent manhunt in Pennsylvania for a convicted killer is intensifying as authorities release shocking new video showing exactly how the suspect escaped from prison. Security footage shows him crab walking up prison walls to escape. Authorities are expanding the search area and adding more personnel to try and find the escapee.
The FDA is expected to approve the latest COVID-19 vaccine possibly early next week. It comes as confirmed cases of the virus are inching upward, and some health officials expect that trend to continue into the fall and winter. The CDC is also encouraging the country to get flu shots this fall.
Just days before the nation marks the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, the legal battle to hold 5 suspects accountable is heating up. A potential plea deal has been rejected by President Biden. The terms of the agreement call for the detainees to plead guilty in exchange for being spared the death penalty. Military prosecutors now trying to hash out a new plea deal for the 5 men held at Guantanamo Bay.
Your car may not be the sanctuary you think it is. A new report warns all that fancy technology in your vehicle means someone could be spying on you, tracking you, or worse, selling your personal information. Right now, there are no federal laws in place to protect consumers. A trade group representing automakers says it wants to protect the privacy of drivers and is calling for a federal privacy law.
145,000 Kia vehicles are being recalled because of a potentially serious safety hazard with the rear view camera. The recall covers the 2022, 2023 Kia Sorento, the Sorento Hybrid, as well as the Sorento plug-in hybrid models. Kia dealers say they will inspect and replace the rear view cameras free of charge. The automaker will send notification to owners of affected vehicles in late October.
UPS delivery drones can now take off on longer flights. The FAA is allowing UPS and another company to fly beyond the sight of ground operators monitoring the route. It clears the way for drone deliveries of small packages to more customers.
Changes could be coming to ads on YouTube. Reports say the site is considering longer ad breaks, but fewer of them on smart televisions. YouTube may also let viewers know the total length of an ad break, not just the time left for the ad. And that's today's 9 at 9.
And the city installed a downtown bicycle lane only to then tear out much of the work just months later. The person behind the push to redo the project, a prominent real estate developer who attends the church next to the project.
KSAT Investigates Dylan Collier digs into the questionable use of voter-approved bond money as the city and church give different accounts of what happened.
Downtown, you'll find the historic First Presbyterian Church. Its current structure built more than 110 years ago during the Gothic Revival movement. Old meets new as a protected bicycle lane now borders the building along North Alamo Street. Over 2 days, KSAT recorded footage of people on bicycles and even scooters riding in the area. A vast majority altogether avoided the pathway, which had a mound of asphalt and a makeshift wood ramp installed for passengers of via buses that have been temporarily rerouted while the Broadway Bond project continues. It would be a stretch to call the bike lane as it currently exists a modern marvel of urban engineering. These concrete islands separating bikes from vehicles have been a source of contention between the church and the city. San Antonio officials confirmed to KSAT Investigates voter-approved bond money was used to construct the islands in 2021, then used again to tear some of them out that same year.
We were very much in charge of the project.
Assistant City Manager Rod Sanchez oversees San Antonio's Public Works Department. He defended the city's handling of the bike lane project after KSAT Investigates obtained these emails through a public records request. They show in the fall of 2021, Ed Cross, a parishioner of First Presbyterian and a prominent San Antonio real estate developer, shown here in his bio page for an unrelated West Side development, contacted city officials and informed them the islands were a surprise to the church and to him, quote, as no one from City of San Antonio staff or the construction company had inquired beforehand. The church's senior pastor, the Reverend Dr. Bob Fuller, telling KSAT in a phone call it was done in a way that caught the church by surprise, severely limited access to the church during weddings and funerals, and took away parking for senior citizens and people with disabilities.
We talked to all the stakeholders. Everyone knew what was coming. I don't believe they were caught off guard. I don't think they understood quite what the design looked like.
City records show First Presbyterian was contacted about the project as far back as June 2020, and that a city staffer had ongoing communication with the church before and during construction. Despite the disagreement between the two sides on what led up to the work, Public Works not only met church officials on site in November 2021, but agreed to take out 4 islands and to adjust the size of 2 others. The changes summarized in this email written by Cross. The work, which city officials say cost around $17,000 to redo, was completed before Christmas, after Cross persistently reminded them that the holiday was fast approaching. Cross did not respond to requests from KSAT to comment for this story. Sanchez attempted to downplay Cross's role in the revised work and said city staff was simply continuing a pattern of being very accessible on bond projects.
The way I see it, Ed got the ball rolling. He got us in contact with the church leaders, and our conversations really were with the church leaders who were asking for all this.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
Church leaders confirm that they still want all of the islands taken out, calling them an ongoing burden on churchgoers.
The lane is part of the larger Broadway bond project, which is scheduled to be completed sometime next year. We will continue to follow the story.
It is now 9:08. We're up to 82 degrees, still ahead on the news at 9.
The possibility of power outages have been frequent this summer, so later in the show, we're taking a look at what you can do right now to prepare for an outage. But first,
Goodwill San Antonio is helping locals get jobs by providing education and training. The opportunities at this academy in downtown and how it's changing lives. Coming up next.
Welcome back. 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. Goodwill San Antonio celebrating Workforce Development Month and reminding the community of the workforce training and education that they offer.
Tiffany Huertas joins us live from Good Careers Academy and explores the life-changing opportunities. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning. Goodwill San Antonio began offering these classes in 2010, and it's impacted so many lives of people here in San Antonio. And just check it out. These are just some of the things that they're learning here. More than 1,300 people have graduated since 2010. Amazing. Christine and Giselle both joining us this morning. Tell us a little bit more about this, Christine, and what makes this program so special.
Good morning. Welcome to the Goodwill Academy. So here at the Academy, we have a dedicated staff of subject matter experts that teach the courses. We have small class sizes. We also help students overcome barriers while they're in school. We have a student success coach that helps those students, if anything comes up while they're here, to help them overcome, whether that's through resources, academic coaching, even resiliency coaching. So we offer all of that to our students while they're here at the Academy. We have short-term classes, so they lead to direct job placement and certifications in the industry.
Tell us about those different pathways they can take.
Sure. We have medical assistant, which would lead directly to a medical assistant job, phlebotomist, EKG technician. We have pharmacy technician, patient care technician, nurse aide, and a CDL driver.
And this is changing so many lives like Giselle's. Giselle, good morning. Tell me about how your journey started here.
I was actually informed about the program by my mom. I had no motivation for what I wanted to do with my life, and she was like, I think you should try this program. So we registered me, and next thing you knew, I was here, and now I'm here in classes studying what I want to be in life.
And what is that?
A medical assistant. I'm here studying for the medical assistant program.
What is your favorite part of this program?
Being able to do hands-on procedures and stuff with my classmates and my instructor.
Awesome. Now, how is Goodwill San Antonio celebrating this month?
So this month we are going to have an event here at the Academy. On September 21st, we'll be offering giveaways and scholarships to students that come through to the GCA. And then we will also have a mega job fair on the 27th at the Second Baptist Church. And that will include, I think, over 35 employers.
So training the future of San Antonio right here at Goodwill San Antonio. Thank you to both of you for joining us. Good luck. We are rooting for you and for all the other students. We'll have more on this coming up on the noon show. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Awesome. They're getting in the medical field.
Yes. Always
Need
work
'em.
available.
Yep.
Not too bad, David. 82. That's
It's only 82.
Yeah, we can handle 82.
And there's some skinny clouds out there.
Skinny clouds.
Skinny clouds.
Yeah, those don't help much.
That's a new one.
do,
Yeah.
do anything for you.
Oh, we need them to be big and billowing and
Yes.
producing rain.
Yes.
Hopefully one day.
One of these days.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
I think over the weekend we have some rain chances, and of course, next week. And we need it so very badly. The drought monitor, I mean, it's been exceptional, the drought, for some time now. And as we zoom in a little bit closer here in Texas, it certainly is one of the hardest hit places in the country. Waco down to San Antonio, Fredericksburg, over to Houston, Beaumont, all areas that have seen significant drought, especially in the last month or so. But this maroon color represents the worst of it, and that's the exceptional drought. Much of our area also in extreme drought. Now, it should be noted that the far western part of our viewing area is not in drought. They've had enough rain to where it hasn't been a problem, but we know the hill country has been really hard hit here. Fredericksburg, Johnson City, Blanco, Canyon Lake, Bandera, up to Kerrville and down to San Antonio. In fact, all of Bexar County now in that exceptional drought area. This is the term, or the number that really jumps off the page here. 730 days, more than 730 consecutive days that some part of South Central Texas has been in drought. So the last time we were completely drought-free, all of our counties, you got to go back to early September 2021. In fact, on this day in 2021, exactly 2 years ago. So that kind of puts it into perspective. It has been a long-term drought, and not only that, it's been really hot. We're going to break some records today. We're forecasting 103. The record is 100. I think we easily get that record. 105 is what we're forecasting tomorrow. The record's 101. Yeah, we'll get that. 102 is the record on Saturday. We're forecasting 103. That was set back in 1893, by the way. I think we break that too. Record-breaking heat, potentially even on Sunday, although it'll be a close call. And then beyond that, I think we're finally done with the record-breaking heat. As we go outside for you, 82 right now. Heat index is at 89, 85 in New Braunfels, feels like 94. So we've already got heat indices above 90 in both New Braunfels and Seguin, and the heat index will climb to about 105, 106 potentially this afternoon with a high temperature of 103. This is dangerous heat. We can't let our guard down with regards to the heat. It'll be bad today and tomorrow. Look at the highs up in Wichita Falls, 107, 106 in Dallas. And as I said, this puts ERCOT in that position again today where we've got to do some conservation because the entire state is going to be looking at some legit heat. It is also another CPS Energy Yellow Day. They're asking for conservation. You know the hours between 3 and 9 p.m. For more information, you can scan that QR code there. Here's the forecast. High pressure starts to shift west a little bit, but still very much in control tomorrow, which is why I think we see temperatures like this. 105 San Antonio, 108 in Dallas. Tomorrow's probably our hottest day throughout the 7-day forecast. Then by Sunday, it starts to move back to the south and west a little bit. We got a weak frontal boundary in here. That could be enough to spark off a shower or storm Sunday afternoon. And if we do see some activity on Sunday, which the chances are low, but if we do, then there could be some strong storms involved there, 1 or 2. By Monday, here comes our next front. And this is the one that actually makes a difference. It starts to move into Oklahoma, and then by Tuesday afternoon, just north of us, but I think we'll start to see some showers and storms late on Tuesday. And then by Wednesday morning, as this front's coming through, or at least that's the timing we think right now, then rain chances start to come up. And I think you'll see a cooler day on Wednesday with some rain chances as well. So here it is on the 7-day forecast. 105 Friday, 103 Saturday, still very hot, as we said. A small rain chance, very small rain chance Saturday, small rain chance Sunday, small rain chance Monday. I wouldn't get our hopes up too much about those days, but by Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when we can start to see some showers and storms really start to develop along that frontal boundary.
The real chances, we'll take that.
Yeah.
Let's put this in perspective. 1893, it was 102?
I think that's right, yeah.
1893. They didn't have any air conditioning. They didn't have any fans.
This is true.
What did those people do? Here we
shade.
are whining and crying about it, and we got AC. It's all right. Those people,
That's true.
yeah.
We can't step inside the
they're
AC.
out there plowing the field.
And you walked 5 miles to school in the snow, right?
Uphill, both ways.
In the heat. In the heat.
Yeah, with the snow on this side, the heat on this, 920. 83 degrees. I was either sweating or freezing going to school.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Well, you may have received some notices yesterday about conserving power due to the heat that we're talking about. Well, when we come back, Patty Santos finds out what could happen if you don't take action when asked to and try to use less power.
You probably got the alerts yesterday from ERCOT. They issued a level 2 energy emergency alert, urging Texans to conserve power, and then retract that emergency alert back down to level 1.
CPS Energy has also contacted many of us this summer asking us to consume less electricity. But what happens if you don't? Patty Santos has the answer.
High end 75, the low end we try to keep at 72 just because of the equipment we have here.
Coffee shop owner Nirav Amarath noticed the electric bill at his business is a little higher this summer, so he's doing what he can to cut back.
So I do notice it's harder for the business to conserve energy just because, we have, equipment running, either we have TVs running, but
He has LED light bulbs and smart plugs at home and at the shop to use less energy.
Every megawatt we save is a megawatt we don't have to produce.
CPS Energy says it's issued more than 20 demand response calls asking customers to reduce electricity during peak hours.
It saves, right? It saves CPS Energy money because we don't have to run the plants as much. And also, we don't have to go out and buy it.
But the response is voluntary. Ed Hurst, energy fellow at the University of Houston, says there's no real enforcement or big incentive for customers and big businesses to comply.
I have a contract for electricity and I expect it to be here when I need it. And so that's the mindset of probably 99% of all Texans. It's going to be hard to beat that.
We can all get beat if the demand gets too great.
ERCOT's tool of last resort is rolling blackouts.
Hurst says Texans are spending billions more on electricity this summer, and they'll continue to pay up until state leaders look out for customers.
We need more electricity generation and dispatching tools on this grid.
And that was Patty Santos reporting. So CPS Energy says customers can do basic things to lower their bills.
They can raise the temperature on their thermostat. They can turn off all their lights at home or in their businesses, and every little bit will help.
Yes, it will. Time now 9:26 and 83 degrees for now. There's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including a big matchup between the UTSA Roadrunners and the Texas State Bobcats happening this weekend. What both teams are doing to get ready for the big game in the Dome.
But before that, we are speaking with a Consumer Reports expert about how to be prepared for a prolonged power outage. What to know before using a portable generator if you have one.
Many of us cannot forget the winter storm of 2021. Of course, we learned a lot after that week, including how to be prepared for a prolonged power outage.
It is important to have a plan in place and have materials to help you get by without electricity. So joining us this morning to help prepare for such an instance is Paul Hope, the senior home and garden editor for Consumer Reports. Hey, good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
All right, Paul, so we remember 2021. A lot of us do who have lived here in San Antonio. We got froze out, electricity went off, and of course we're dealing with the possibility now with the heat. So what are some things we should be doing long before some of these outages actually happen?
Absolutely. So, as I'm sure you could guess, one of the most important things to do is to simply be prepared well in advance of the storm. So stock up on essentials like water, shelf-stable food, flashlights, candles, anything else that you might need in the event of a prolonged outage. But you also want to plan a bit for a life without a phone. If an outage goes on for more than a couple of days, even if you do everything you can to preserve the life of your phone's battery, chances are good you're going to find yourself without it. So in those cases, it's a really good idea to buy a battery backup pack for your phone, but also write down a lot of crucial information you need, phone numbers of friends and family, addresses for local shelters or any areas where they're giving out emergency supplies, as well as directions to places like hospitals or somewhere you might need to be if you don't have a phone on hand.
And these are things to prepare, but what are some of the things we can do to prepare right when that power outage begins?
So when the outage begins itself, you obviously want to make a plan. One of the biggest considerations is what you're going to eat and feed your family during the outage. Food kept in a refrigerator can last up to about a day typically. Once food has spent about 2 hours above 40 degrees, it's time to toss it out. You can also keep food in the freezer for up to about 2 days if it's tightly packed, and actually use your gas range or gas grill to cook anything before it goes bad. That said, once food is up above those dangerous temperatures, it's better and safer to toss it out. And good to know also that most homeowners insurance companies will actually reimburse you for the cost of any food lost during an outage. So, don't feel too bad or agonize too much if you do have to toss a few of those things.
I know during that 2021 storm, a lot of people were using generators. If they didn't have one, they probably have one now. So what are some of the things that we need to know about generators when it comes to getting prepared for these storms? I noticed you had it on your list earlier.
Absolutely. So a generator is an amazing and potentially life-saving device, but the most important thing is to use it safely. That means never using it inside the home or in an attached garage. Even if you have the door open, a generator should only be used about 20 feet from the house or more with the exhaust directed away. And that's because generators produce carbon monoxide, and deaths associated with generators hit well into the dozens. As many as 85 people die each year from exposure to carbon monoxide just from generators alone. So if you've got one, use it safely.
And once we have secured our immediate households, what other safety tips do we need to keep in mind?
It's good to remember to check in on friends, family, loved ones, and neighbors, especially obviously elderly neighbors or anyone who's especially predisposed or prone to having a medical emergency during the course of a prolonged outage. So, check in on those neighbors and make sure that people in your community have what they need to.
Paul, we appreciate those great tips because you never know, especially with this heat wave that seems like we're still in the middle of this thing. So some great tips. We appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's look out there with live cam.
What'd you learn, Justin? Were you paying attention?
I was.
You have a test coming from Mr. Sears.
It really is good information and things we have to keep in mind. It's been kind of surprising that after the 2021 freeze that we've dealt still with issues this year with the heat, but that's where we are. And the grid today is going to be in that situation again. We'll probably be okay, but it's always a close call. And the heat just continues to last right on into September, which poses even more issues. Let me show you what's going on across the country. 57 in Seattle, 45 Cut Bank. There's cold air up there. It's starting to show up. Places in Canada in the 40s, and we're starting to see some of that leak down into the United States. So we know that the overall pattern is trying to change here, but we just haven't seen it yet in Texas. 87 right now in Dallas, 82 in San Antonio. And it's going to be hot, really hot across the state today. 84 in Laredo, it's 88 already in Brownsville. You'll see 90s on this map soon. Pollen count is in, molds are low, pigweed is low. No big issues there. And as we look at the forecast for today, we're calling for 103, but that feels like number will be close to 105. So don't forget to take precautions. We don't want to let our guard down, even though it's September now, because the temperatures not only will be hot today, but even hotter coming up tomorrow. We've also got a hurricane now out in the Atlantic. The latest on Lee coming up here in just a couple of minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. The use of automated external defibrillators can save lives. Athletes like LeBron James's 18-year-old son and Damar Hamlin are proof of that. Now with classes back in session and fall sports underway, ABC's Rena Roy takes a look at AED devices and the importance of having one in schools and offices.
When someone goes into cardiac arrest, every second counts. An AED, or automatic external defibrillator, can be a vital tool to saving a life.
People think that they need to be trained to use an AED, but that's actually not true. All you have to do is turn it on, and it will tell you exactly what to do.
Dr. Naomi Cortez at the Heart Center at Nationwide Children's Hospital says the need for an AED in schools is like the need for a fire extinguisher. Using it is rare, but could mean the difference between life and death.
I think what we learned from Damar Hamlin is one of the difficult things with sudden cardiac arrest is it's almost impossible to predict everybody who's going to suffer a sudden cardiac arrest.
She says the devices are simple and easy to use.
Get the AED, turn it on. It will tell you what to do. It will tell you whether it needs to give a shock or not give a shock.
Although training is not necessary, there are videos online that can show you how to use an AED. But most importantly, know where the AED is.
You have 5 minutes. 5 minutes from the time someone faints to go get the AED, bring it back, put it on, and use it until damage to brains and other organs starts to occur. 5 minutes. So that's not the time to go, where's the AED? How do I get it out of the box? Is it locked?
Bottom line, the next time you go to school or work, find out where the AED is.
We do so much to keep our children, our families, our communities safe. This is one of the easiest things you can do to save a life. Don't miss that opportunity.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Oh, what a big-time weekend we got coming up this weekend. Take a look at some sports right now. Jeff Traylor and the UTSA Roadrunners looking to bounce back from their 17-14 Week 1 loss to the Houston Cougars in Houston. Coach told the media that the team feels miserable after they expected to win every game. Up next, the Texas State Bobcats at the Dome. UTSA 4-0 against the Bobcats the last time they met, September 2020. UTSA won it in San Marcos, 51-48 in double overtime. Now the Bobcats come to town with a lot of confidence. UTSA knows it.
Yeah, I mean, every game's a big game, but, Texas State's a little bit different. It's a trophy game. So, we obviously want to keep that trophy here in San Antonio. So, there's a little extra edge for this week, given that it's Texas State. But, I feel like we're ready.
No, just staying focused, It doesn't really change how I look at them. I just feel like we got to still be detailed, still go out and execute, play the game of football.
Talk about somebody who loves this program. Local philanthropist Harvey Najum committed $2 million to the UTSA football program. In addition, he has purchased more than 7,100 tickets for over 60 organizations in San Antonio and surrounding areas to enjoy the big home opener on Saturday evening. And that game is against G.J. Kinney and his Texas Bobcats, who are coming off a huge 42-31 upset win over the Baylor Bears. The Bobcats 27.5-point underdogs when they were in Waco last weekend. And here they are, 1-0 heading into the I-35 rivalry. That's their first win over a Power 5 program. But now it's time to move on. The newest member of our sports team, Nick Mantis, went out to San Marcos to hang out with the Bobcats, and he learned how some local football players are feeling about this weekend's matchup.
Hey guys, here at Texas State, there's a lot of excitement obviously going into this game, coming off a huge win against Baylor. But for the guys who are local to the San Antonio area, playing against UTSA and in an iconic stadium like the Alamo Dome, this game means just a little bit more.
Compared to most games, I say this one do have a little more of a chip on my shoulder, and just sticking to the plan, just execution, and just making sure I'm doing the little details right.
It's pretty exciting. I haven't played back in home since like 2018, since I graduated. And we played in the Dome 2015, my freshman year in high school. So it's going to be a real exciting environment just to head back and play back in the Dome and see the crowd and all my coaches and family and friends I know that's from San Antonio just to come to the game.
All right, so a 2:30 kickoff. We're going to see not just how our local San Antonio kids are going to do in this game, but also how this rivalry shapes up for all our local fans in the area. For KSAT 12 Sports, Nick Mantis, back to you guys.
All right, Nick, thank you. Welcome to the team. Here's the matchup again. UTSA favored by 13. It's the Let's Go 2-0 Blue Out game. That's 2:30 in the Dome Saturday afternoon. The storyline surrounding our big game coverage, Game of the Week, inspiring. It's a District 14-5A D2 showdown between Sam Houston and Jefferson. On one side of the ball, Sam Houston is treating this like it's a playoff game, especially after losing their district opener last weekend. On the other side, Jefferson is red hot to start the year. The Hurricanes are coming off a Week 2 loss that saw Sam Houston carry a 13-7 lead at halftime, but Burbank came back in the second half to defeat the Hurricanes 21-13, but as Coach Williams preaches to his group, in each loss there is a lesson. The Hurricanes have moved on, and the focus is on getting bounce-back road win versus Jeff. As far as Jefferson is concerned, the Mustangs own a 2-0 record with wins over Uvalde and Lanier. In the most recent meeting between the two programs, Sam Houston won at 40-21, and that one still lingers. So kickoff for this matchup is tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We will have the highlights on the Night Beat and the pregame party show. We're live streaming, RJ and myself from the stage.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
And we saved the best for last. The NFL regular season kicks off tonight. It is the Lions and the Chiefs. Kickoff is at 7:20 this evening. NFL regular season finally here.
Yeah. And you're excited about this game.
It's football. Got to be excited about everything. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But your player.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Going after his third Super Bowl. Texas Tech University. And Kansas City.
Yeah, let's not forget Texas Tech.
Look at Justin's look.
Time now 9:41 and 84 degrees for now. You are watching GMSA at 9. And day 3 of the impeachment trial for suspended Attorney General Ken Paxton is underway. This is a live look from inside the Senate chamber of the Texas Capitol. Testimony is happening right now, and we are continuing to live stream this historic proceeding on our website at KSAT.com, so you can head over there to continue watching this feed, and we'll have a recap of today's testimony on our later newscast. We'll be right back.
Zoo cam.
There are friends.
It's flamingos.
At the zoo.
There's some out in the sun. They're not even in the shade.
I've been noticing that. I would assume they would run for the shade, but you know what? It's still early.
Do you think that they're like, their cycle is kind of messed up, thinking they're supposed to be getting cool now?
They're sensing that changes are ahead. Maybe.
It's supposed to be 92 high, and this 100 thing is. That's what they're saying. It's
for the birds.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Good one, Justin. Good one.
I try.
Now bring us some rain.
Well, we're working on it.
Yeah.
We really are. It has been just such a rough stretch, and I think that we may start to see an end to that by next week, or at least a break, hopefully. We first start, though, with what's going on out in the Atlantic. We've got Lee as now a hurricane, and I should mention we've got another system behind that, and I've put the spaghetti plots on it. 90% chance of development. This system's going to go harmlessly out into the Atlantic. We don't need to worry about it, but it may get a name going forward. Lee is of more concern here. A Category 1 hurricane starting to develop an eye. So this thing is rapidly, and I mean rapidly, intensifying. I think this becomes a major hurricane very soon. And right now, winds are 80 miles per hour, gusting to 100. This is the 4 a.m. update. So once we get the new update, I guarantee you this is going to be much stronger. Where does it go? Well, it continues its track northwest, staying a major hurricane. It says Category 4. I would not be surprised if this goes Cat 5. But again, it's out of our open water. This is Tuesday morning. Okay, from there, where does it go? Well, we look at the long-range computer models, and I know there's a lot of models here on the spaghetti plot, but I wanted to give you a general idea of where they think this is headed, and for the most part, keeps it away from the east coast of the United States. With that being said, it could get close up here across parts of New England, and of course, Bermuda needs to watch out for this, and then eventually parts of Canada as well. We'll be watching it. Obviously, no effects on our forecast here. So we go outside for you, not a cloud in the sky. 82, southwesterly winds at 8, heat index is at 89. Dew-point trend today, very humid this morning, and the humidity drops off during the afternoon. But when you get a dew point of 62, that's still going to register you a heat index. So as we get up to around 103, could feel like 105, 106. Heat index is going to be no joke today. 104, the forecast sign in Braunfels, 104 in Castroville, 102 in Bandera, 103 in Hondo. These are big, big numbers for this point in September. We're going to be setting records next several days. I will also caution you that winds will start to pick up during the evening hours. You'll notice this a lot. The wind's pretty calm during the day, and then by the time we get into the evening and nighttime hours, the winds really start to pick up. And you'll get gusts 20 to 25. That's all fine and good. It feels good. But we have to remember that when those winds pick up, and if it's been dry, if there's any sort of grass fire, they can spread very quickly. We still have the fire threat, too, on top of all this. Across the country, it's really a pretty quiet day. We've got some showers and storms up across parts of Pennsylvania and New York, but nothing here across Texas or anywhere close. Here's what our forecast looks like. And it's all about the heat high, right? It's been over us all summer. Finally starting to shift a little bit, but not before it brings us some really hot temperatures tomorrow. Another really toasty day. Then by Saturday and Sunday, it's still hot, but we start to see a weak frontal boundary approaching across northeast Texas. I don't think this front moves through, but it gets close enough to where it could kick off some showers and storms. I think maybe a very small chance Saturday, a little better chance Sunday. And we'll have to watch out for a couple of strong storms mixed in there. Again, anything we see will be few and far between. Your weekend plans are fine, but we do need to mention that. Then as we get into Monday, Monday is probably fairly quiet other than a stray shower or storm. And then Tuesday, our next front starts to drop south. It's along that front late in the day on Tuesday where I think we start to see some showers and storms. And then maybe Wednesday morning is when we could see things peak a little bit with the rainfall. And then it will also turn cooler. Not cold or it's super cold or anything like that. This is not one of those fronts, but it will be not so hot. We'll call it that as the front comes through. So 105 Friday, 103 Saturday, 102 Sunday. Still hot over the weekend. You see the small rain chances there. 20% Monday. Then we start to bring the rain chances up. 30% Tuesday, 40% on Wednesday, and 92 for a high. Are you kidding me right now?
That's close to the average, right?
Get the
92?
jackets ready. Yeah,
you're right around the average.
You're right. Yeah,
give or take.
Yeah, actually, still maybe even a little. Yeah, around the average. Yeah.
No, I watch. I pay attention.
I appreciate you, Dave.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well, we appreciate the 90s. Yes.
It was a good decade. 950 and 85 degrees.
Let's look out there with TransGuide. We do have a little bit of problems. A slowdown at Loop 410 South at Marbach Road. There's a shoulder. On the shoulder, there's an accident, so things are kind of slow going right now. You might want to watch out for that as they try to clear the scene. We'll be right back.
Hey, I want to give you a heads up. If you live on the south side or you're going to be in that area here in a little while, SAPD's bomb squad is going to be doing some training detonations at the training academy located off Muirsun Boulevard. It starts in just a few minutes at 10 o'clock this morning and it's run through 1 this afternoon. So if you're in that area and you hear some loud noises, that's what it's going to be.
And a quick look out there with TransGuide again. Things still slow going there at Loop 410 South at Marbach Road. Again, that accident on the shoulder starting to clear. 3 lanes are blocked right now, so it's a little slow until you get past that.
All right, well, now let's look at the forecast. We'll be up around 103 today, 105 tomorrow, record-setting heat probably through Saturday. Then we start to add in some small rain chances. Best shot at rain, though, I think comes Tuesday into Wednesday with an actual front moving into South Texas.
Exciting.
All right, a couple of stories you might be interested in before we go. Wendy's is joining the pumpkin spice craze. The fast food chain experimenting with the fall favorite flavor in what else? A pumpkin spice Frosty.
Sure, we'll take it. Starting next Tuesday, Wendy's will offer the frozen treat infused with the taste of crisp air and colorful leaves. And if you're keeping count, pumpkin spice marks the 6th flavor for the Frosty. So there's a classic chocolate, vanilla, as well as limited flavors, peppermint, strawberry, and birthday cake. Yeah.
Sure about the pumpkin spice, but the other ones sound pretty good. All right, and Mattel has unveiled its Career of the Year themed Barbie dolls. They are women in sports. The dolls are dressed to represent 4 sports-related careers. Can you guess what they are?
Yeah, you can kind of tell. Among them are an athlete, a referee, a sports reporter, and a general manager Barbie. In a release, Mattel said these new career-themed Barbies can encourage girls to get involved in sports, which can help develop life skills and raise confidence. A lot of options in the Barbie world.
There are.
Yeah, this is the year.
Yeah,
the
Barbie's
movie
it's having a
everywhere.
moment.
I think they're taking advantage of the movie, aren't they?
Yeah, the popularity's back.
Don't blame them.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks for being with us.